Hey YouTube land, Tychonders here doing another action figure review. Now this is for one of the new, as of 2020, Masters of the WWE Universe Ultimate Warrior from Wave 1. Now initially I didn't pick up most of Wave 1, I only picked up like one or two characters. Mainly the Triple H figure from Wave 1 is what I picked up, and then I got the two kind of exclusive figures, which was John Cena from the ring set and the Triple H from the ring set. So this is the next figure in the wave that I've picked up. I know there's three waves out already, or will be 3 waves out soon. At the time of this recording, there is a 4th wave already mentioned and planned, and I think a wave 5 is already in the works, but this is from wave 1. And this is the Ultimate Warrior, the heroic champion of WWE Eternia. So before I get on to the figure, I'll just move him aside. I'll just go on about the packaging. So it comes in the kind of standard clamshell packaging with highly articulated for power posing on the front, the logo, the name of the character, and then you have this kind of very Masters of the Universe style, but all so different at the same time packaging. If I can find, bear with me a moment while I just reach for something. If I bring in the Masters of the Universe Origins packaging for the Skeletor I have, you see it's very similar. Even the way the wording on the covers, or the wording for Masters, has that kind of very similar look to it. And if I flip around to the back of the box and just move the other one outside, you see the packaging at the back is very similar to how the old vintage Masters of the Universe was. So you have includes collector booklet, it has an image of him up on the top, and it says, sent in a capsule from a place far from here for one reason, to attack and to keep coming, not to ask but just to give, not to want but just to send the power of the warrior. And then you have the other figures in the wave. I have recently picked up Finn Balor, the only one I'm missing in the Sting figure, which I will hopefully get at some point as well. So you have remove warrior's ultimate harness, twist into powerful battle positions. And then I said the other figures from this wave is the Triple H, Evil Skull King of Kings, Ultimate Warrior, Heroic Champion of WWE Eternia, Sting, the Mysterious Vigilante of Vengeance, and Finn Balor, the Heroic Demon King. So each figure comes packed with one of these little mini comics, and for this particular one, it's for the Ultimate Warrior. Gives a little brief bio on the Ultimate Warrior, and it's just a 1-page comic showing him landing in his pod, finding the Skull King, and then pretty much kicking his butt. And then on the back you have the same 4 figures again, each sold separately, subject to availabilities, colors, decorations may vary, you know, all the standard kind of stuff that you get on figures. And that is packed in behind the figure himself. So we just move that aside, bring him back in again. He comes with technically 2 accessories if you count the harness. The harness is part of him when you get him in the box. The only piece that is loose is his spear. So the spear is done in a bright yellow, and it is, from what I know, is actually a reuse of the Masters of the Universe Classics Ular, who is essentially the comic book version of He-Man, if I remember correctly. In the comic book, He-Man was more of a savage warrior than the He-Man that of the cartoon. So he was a Ular, and I think then he became He-Man. So I'm not too familiar with the comics, or the graphic, or the comics that accompanied the line before, back in the 80s. I just know of the characters from the TV series, or from the was it Filmation animation, or was it Filmation animation, whichever one it was. I only remember the characters from that. and obviously the figures, but I don't remember any of the comics. And for the main part of the figure, as it states, you have a power harness for him, which if I just get my nail in, you can take off. In order to take it off properly, you need to pop his head off and just pop it over his shoulders and then pop his head back on. These figures are intended to kind of disassemble, so you can mix and match figures to your heart's content with other figures from the WWE line, and also figures from the Masters of the Universe line. So you have arms that pop off, they just plug in with a peg, and they can move up that much, rotate all the way around. You can pry these tassel things on his shoulders off if you just want normal arms without that. Definitely something for customizers if you want to make your own kind of custom Masters of the Universe or even more wrestlers. Unfortunately, he does have the Warrior tattoo on his chest that isn't removable, but well, it is removable. It's just a paint top, so if you really wanted to, you could probably use something to remove it if you wanted just a standard Masters of the Universe book to make a custom. He has a waist swivel. His waist does pop apart again for that mix and match thing. So if I bring in good old Skeletor, you can give him Skeletor's legs for whatever reason if you want. You can even give the waist piece that was on Skeletor to him if you want that. So the line is, even though it's designed to be retro and like the vintage Masters line, and I think it was the Remco Wrestlers was the other line, it is unique in the fact that all the figures have joints on them, multi-jointed figures, far more joints than the original line, and come with cool accessories. So if I just pop his harness back on, head is on a ball joint, as you can see as well. He has a single joint elbow. Just tie that back onto him. Oh. The one thing I would worry about is these stretching over time from overuse or just in age. So it is something to be worried about. But at the moment, they're not too bad. He does have knee wraps, which are a separate piece, but unfortunately, the legs don't come off at the knee. They do separate at the lower cut, the boot cut as you would call it. But because his feet, he doesn't have boots per se, he has these, again, tassel things that go over his legs and then the shoes. But like there is other figures. If I just bring in John Cena, you can see he doesn't actually have boots. But he still has that boot cut, so it is a bit weird. So, but overall, he's quite nice. He only has one gripping hand, which is a shame. I would have loved for them to have given him two gripping hands, so he could actually hold the spear in two hands. It's my only gripe about this figure. Everything else about him is awesome. You can get him into spear chucking poses if you want. The paint apps are quite nice on him. If we just bring it up closely there. Even the Warrior tattoo on his face is quite nicely done. His hair is a separate piece, so again, if you're a customizer, you could probably pull that off and maybe, I don't know, it probably has a big lump taken out of the head, so the hair glues into that, but you could probably make some customs out of it. Unfortunately, his head doesn't fit the Skull King helmet. Again, if you were to pull the hair off, you probably could get that to fit over. And then for articulation of the legs, you can split that much forward, that much back, that much. He has the single joint in the knees. He has a swivel at the knee, a swivel at that boot cut, and he has rocker joints. But because of the way the tassels go, you don't get much of movement out of him. But he does have forward and back on the feet as well. He does have wrist swivel, a hinge on the wrist, and as I said, the elbow has a single joint and a rotation. So very good, lots of posability. And if you're a fan of the vintage Masters of the Universe line vehicles, they are somewhat compatible with them. I think this is the Road Racer, I think it's called. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was a ripcord vehicle. If I just bring it around the back there, there's a thing where you put a ripcord on it and the figure would fly along. Unfortunately, mine is a little broken. The clasp that holds the seatbelt on is broken, so it would have been a belt seatbelt that would have gone on that, and you would have been able to fly the figures around that. But just see if I have another Masters of the Universe vehicle. I do. It might be a little bit more fitting for him. It is the Turbodactyl, so he can fit those as well. So if you have some of the old vintage Masters of the Universe line stuff, it does fit. Just for a scale, I'll bring in the tape measure. So he stands around just under the 6-inch mark. They are 5.5 figures, but if you stretch out the legs, you can get generally nearer to 6 inch on them. So if I bring in Skeletor here, you can just see size comparison between other figures. Now Skeletor is the only one of the Masters of the Universe Origins that I have at the moment. I am planning on picking up more of them, but I do have, if I just straighten out his legs, John Cena, the Terraclaws Triple H that came with the ring as well. It was John Cena versus Triple H. And I also have the Triple H from the single car pack. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review, and please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Cheers, guys.